isn't it?
Good morning, morning, morning. Good morning, good morning. Mike Scott, Ford Malcolm.
Hi, baby, I'm your boy. 300 pounds of a heavenly joy. This is it. Look what you get.
Hello, Alec Shuttleworth here, Big Eki, inviting you to join me every weekday morning between 10 and 12. We'll have a laugh, we'll keep your morning belting along with great music, and make sure you reach the afternoon with a smile on your face.
This is it. Look what you get.
Jay Crawford. Oh my God, wherever you are, we're making tracks with you.
12 minutes from 5. And Jay Crawford making tracks on 4th. We're not coming up, we're going up. And we're going up a couple of thousand feet into the air and join the 194 traffic helicopter and Judi White. Good evening, Judi, how are you?
Hello there, Jay.
What's the conditions like on the road then now?
Well, they're not too bad so far. There's a bit more traffic going through Musselburgh tonight, but there are no hold-ups so far. Traffic's moving well at the Leavenhall and Wallyfold roundabouts. No problems on Milton Road or Seafield Road, but traffic is building up at Jock's Lodge and down London Road, and it's pretty busy if you're coming out of the park towards Meadowbank. If you're approaching the Forth Road Bridge from the city, traffic is now starting to build up, but it's still moving smoothly over the bridge. The Kirkcaldy and Verkeithing Road's quite busy too, but we can't spot any delays on it at the moment, Jay. Back to you.
Okay, we'll speak to you again at about 10 past 5, Judi.
Okay, Jay.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Judi White. Here's a shopper's bulletin.
You'll hear all the big ones on the Tom Bell Show.
You betcha. It's Play It Again time from now through until 9. Good evening. How you doing? All right? Good.
Oh, he'll help your day go well. Tom Bell Information Radio. Information on sport. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. We've got a lot of good music for you. Review the time and the temperature too, and we don't ever wanna make you blue. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. We're gonna start without further ado, playing your favorites old and new. So good morning from all of the crew. Morning Tuesday. Good music.
Right on.
Oops. We got a message for the nation. Jackson's Groove 194 the music station. Radio 4 can make you move. So put the word out.
Your funky DJ
Graham Jackson.
in touch with your needs.
Detroit, Michigan, Motortown, Motown. This is the Motown sound.
Graham Jackson knows what's happening today. We all listen to the music that he plays, the way that he does it on the radio. Everybody's tuning in to listen to his show.
And a very good morning to you. It's 4 minutes past 8. You're listening to Festival City Radio, brought to you in association with British Airways Super Shuttle. My name's Alec Shuttleworth, with me Jenny Brown, and a galaxy of stars over the next 2 hours. Bill Forsyth talks about...
Edinburgh was, of course, brimming over with international personalities during the 3 weeks of the festival, from stars like Elizabeth Taylor to Peter O'Toole, who, whilst personally sponsoring a theatre production, bemoaned the demise of the private theatrical sponsor.
It's a thing that died out, did it not? When the Arts Council, in their munificence, in what was a benign gesture, decided to give millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon scores of millions of blue and green pound notes into the hands of ill-equipped young men and women to go and squander it.
The magazine's style was natural, conversational, and highly popular. The service even had its own gossip columnist, Colin Bell, who prowled the streets and bars each day.
Oh, there's one, I think, which absolutely typifies the Edinburgh attitude. Liz Taylor, you'll remember her. She's a film actress, I believe.
I had lunch with her last Sunday.
Oh, so did I. Yes, I recall that. Yes, we were both in a very large restaurant. She was at the other end.
That's right.
But anyway, Liz Taylor apparently visited one of the city's most distinguished sweater shops. A very expensive sweater shop. I'm not going to mention it because I'm told that if I do, they'll be in trouble. But she visited the sweater shop. They recognised her, said, "Welcome, Miss Taylor." She bought more than £400 worth of sweaters and then proffered a credit card. Being an Edinburgh sweater shop, they immediately rang the credit company to check whether she was good for the money.
Not only humans had their place on the service, and not only adults were catered for.
Well, yeah, sometimes I'm walking down the street and people will come up and say, "Are you Kermit the Frog?" And I say, "Yes, I'm Kermit the Frog." And they say, "Wow."
Edinburgh is an irresistible magnet for the show business fraternity, and everyone is a performer, whether in the street, theatre, or even in the quiet corner of a bar, as Alexi Sale quickly discovered.
So once you're in the assembly rooms bar, pouncing about with the media folk, all the stand-up comics are in there, trying to do their act as conversation. And I say, that reminds me of the fact that I'm the Brighton's only gay lesbian test tube heart transplant Quins comedian, and then try and do their act in front of Paul Jackson, the producer of The Young Ones. There's everybody. I mean, usually you can tell where Paul Jackson is because there's usually a crowd of 600 or 700 stand-up comedians walking past as if in conversation, but in fact doing their acts at each other.
Total environment fantasy is how the Fringe programme describes Winnie the Pooh Goes to the North Pole, as performed by the Esher Youth Theatre at the George Square venue. Lots of fun for kids is putting it more simply, and you have to put it pretty simply to Colin Somerville before he understands, but as soon as we mentioned Pooh Bear, Eeyore and Christopher Robin, there was no holding him. What was a grown man, well, almost, doing sitting on the grass with an overgrown teddy bear, a donkey and a small boy? Find out after the break.
Ken Haynes.
Breaker, come on back. I need a coffee now. It's the music maker calling you, 'cause one night for the town. With my concrete wheels, my tall bag deals, we're gonna meet for sure. So pin your ears, flight breaker. Deep copy, 10-4.
Who is your hero? Who is your friend? He'll play your record right to the end. It's Ken Haynes.
The Breaker music maker, which is, although I say it myself, highly successful. It goes out on Wednesday night, and the first one to introduce darts to the radio. It's not easy, you know.
Hello again, listeners. I bet you thought I had been paid off. But no, no other mug would do it for the money. So I am back here again, hostessing with Ken. And tonight's star prizes: 10 singles. Sheer heaven. At least that's what's wrote in this piece of paper I have in front of me. 3 heavy metal sew-on patches to enhance your rear. Oh, to enhance your jeans. Or your ain, I suppose, if you're wearing them. 1 album. I think it's maybe the same album. And you know what we've got for the next prize? It's nearly an antique. A Dada black bun. 5 singles. And another Radio 4 sweatshirt. The last one walked out the studio on its own. A book. Glutton for Punishment. And it's sure to shock. my Radio 4 lucky bag. How lucky can you be? Well, you might be luckier if you took the sweatshirt. However, who will be the first one of yous to spin the board tonight?
City Radio. Hit City Radio. Hit City Radio.
Information Radio. Radio 4.
Good evening and welcome to the special 10th anniversary edition of 4th Street.